Hello and welcome to Liko Horizons, episode 65 review. And last episode we left off in quite a precarious position, and now Amethio has to convince Terapagos he doesn't have any, ill intent, Which kind of confuses it, but he's serious about not meaning harm, and looks for an exit while Liko worries about making Roy and Dot worry for her again. I think it's a real testament to her character, having her want to understand feelings of putting others before her own safety. It's kind of amazing. Roy and Dot, however, are being held off by Sango and Onyx. Seeing Roy and Dot fight alongside each other is a fun time. Feels like you don't really see them fight together without Liko there too often. And even though the explorers get a jump on them, Dot strategizes to get Garganical gone first. And I really appreciate that both of Roy and Dot spoke one of the options that are strong against Garganical and Glay. It wasn't something I'd thought about until Dot brought it up. Another really great moment is how the cave is getting much colder. And Florgo shows how much she cares for Liko by getting anything she can to use to help Liko warm up. When it's immediately paralleled by Ledge warming Amethio up with his blade, which gives Liko the idea to start a fire. This moment really did just feel like it can show the similarities between them, and how when they're not put into a moment as enemies, they can work together just fine. Having a moment just talk as well, fantastic. It's the kind of interaction the two have needed for a long time. You get Amethio bringing up why Liko throws after terrestrializing Ledge, and in a way motivating her to keep on going, as he asks, is that it for her? Is she going to give up? Is one hurdle really too much? And she confirms she's not done as she wants to meet the 6 heroes and go to Rakua. Gives her a chance to ask why he saved her against Rayquaza before, and how she feels that Amethio isn't like the other explorers. Horizons is excellent planting seeds for future plotlines, and if this is Amethio's redemption, I couldn't really ask for it to be in a better place. Sometimes talking is more effective than an action scene to change things. Amethio also tells her about Gibeon and his relation to him, how he wants to get to Rakua and needs Rayquaza and Terapagos, and Amethio wants to feel that. Terapagos is pretty pissed off hearing about Gibeon, so getting that backstory in the future will be juicy. And another fantastic connection how they both have inherited dreams from their grandparents, as Liko taking a pendant was really her taking Diana's dream, and want to fulfill what Terapagos wants. Liko says they want the same thing, with Amethio realizing she's more than the girl that looks after Terapagos. What a wonderful moment of mutual respect. With a breeze coming into the cave, Amethio notices a gap they can use which Corviknight can help with. Florgo and Ledge work together to open up the gap further, even get a little Hatcham action too. Meanwhile, back with Roy and Dot, as the battle seems to be going in the way of the explorers, Grusha shows up and blows away Glay. As he does, Agate calls them to retreat, as well, I've done what we needed to do. And fighting Grusha would just be silly. Freed contacts the gym, and he knows the situation, immediately taking kids with him to help find Liko. I appreciate him setting up here with how he was with how he might seem a bit dismissive. He's not going to let people stay in trouble. Liko and Amethio exit the cave where he warns her about Spinel. Liko tries to appeal to him again as they both want to get to Rakua and could work together. Amethio doesn't want to hear it as he wants to make his own way. And what do we have as BHM was spying on them? Very quickly though, we have everyone reuniting after Altaria destroys one of the rocks which Liko is behind. Reunion is so great. I love seeing the kids reconnect and Freed having just arrived after everything was resolved. Liko has a good chance to reflect, thinking surely Terastal isn't everything and there are other paths she can take. She's realised she doesn't need to feel bad about not passing as there's so many roads she can take, and her having that attitude is very refreshing. She also informs Freed about the Eternal Blessing, and it's time they head back to the school, but not before they head to a peak, where this ends on a very sweet note as they take a picture together at the top. Except this isn't the end as the explorers are holding a meeting, and Amethio is cooked as he tries to talk to Spinel. But Spinel is mad that they've been betrayed as Amethio, using Behemoth's footage, shows Amethio helping Liko, which Agate just digs in deeper. I really do like that Sango, Onyx and Hamper aren't immediately on Spinel's side as they want to give him a chance to explain. But Gibeon isn't having it as he tells Amethio to piss off as he's strayed off from a path and doesn't want to see him. So as far as we know, Amethio's done in the Explorers. So you can probably tell that I really like this episode. Explored Liko and Amethio's dynamic in such an interesting way and kind of puts him barreling in different directions. Amethio is so set on the path put out for him by Gibeon that having Gibeon tell him that he's strayed from a path is like there's only one way for him to go. While Liko's conclusion is that there are multiple different paths ahead of her, and she shouldn't stay fixated on just one. The whole interaction helped Liko but hurt Amethio, but it opens up new possibilities for them both. Again, I have to mention how fun I find Spinel, because having Amethio warn Liko about him while Spinel was in the process of ending his career is hilarious. But yeah, I feel like this moved Liko and Amethio forward in interesting ways. It feels like they actually have a dynamic now. They have an understanding of each other's views and their motives, and they found connections with each other, and ultimately work together to help each other out. And even though Amethio is still a little rough around the edges, denying that he saved Liko against Rayquaza, having him realise the way to get out and inviting her to escape by name shows there really is a potential for him to lighten up. It shows her respect. And you can really tell that this is the expectations Gibeon has of him, that hold him back and really shape him. Now that's lifted, I eagerly wait to see how he develops. And of course how Liko will develop in parallel to that.